phase of moon.
Third Phase of Moon is live on the radio, taking your calls in regards to the UFO phenomenon happening right now around the world. Third Phase of Moon is the top UFO channel to share your story. Whether you've been abducted, you've seen a UFO, you captured it on video, send it to us via Skype or Facebook. And if you want to talk to us right now, the number to call in is 347-934-0378. We're staying online right now, and we're going to go to the switchboard. So let's get started with area code 818. I think it's our special team member right there from Los Angeles, Dr. J. Andy Elias. Welcome to Third Phase.
How you doing, Blake?
Doing good, Dr. J. We're just standing by. We're waiting for the switchboard to build up, but might as well go over some of the breaking news that's been coming in to Third Phase of Moon. We've been working on the studio over here. We haven't been posting any videos for the past week because Third Phase of Moon's kind of getting a makeover, and we're going to be having a full-on production studio in regards to people submitting their UFO videos. We're going to have people around here looking at it, and we're going to be excited to release our new studio to the world. And Dr. J, I know you've been hearing what we've been going on over here, but I have to tell you, we've been getting incredible UFO videos that have yet to be released right here on Third Phase of Moon, and I can't wait to share it to the world.
I'm actually truly excited. I remember we spoke about this yesterday right before the abductee came on the other show. You were talking about some of the phenomenal footage, so I'm just as antsy as so is everybody else, and I know as soon as the studio's up and running, it's going to expand the whole team and the mission to get the word out.
You know what, Dr. J, just stand by. We're getting some news coming in through the chat and through certain emails that I've been getting through the week that, you know, the Super Bowl's coming up, and it's happening in New York, and it's going to be super cold over there. New Jersey, excuse me. And this event is, people are saying that there might be an actual huge UFO sighting over the Super Bowl. This happened just miles away from where the Hindenburg went down. Is this going to be something that's going to be the biggest event since the Hindenburg in New York when that, the New Jersey, excuse me. This is new news coming in right now. Is the Super Bowl going to be the new to, let mankind know that we're not alone? Did you hear this new breaking news story coming in, Dr. J?
Yes, I have actually, Blake. There was two trains of thought that were going. The non-UFO conspiracy people were saying that the Super Bowl is going to be another false flag, whether it be another bomb or attack. That's what some people are saying. The UFO side of the people are saying because the Super Bowl is a billion eyeballs, a billion pairs of eyeballs watching that. That would be a perfect time for a giant fleet of UFOs to, maybe come hover over the stadium or something along the lines of that, because I think it's going to take an event like that for every media around the world to have no choice but to actually air what's going on.
Well, the Illuminati's all over the Super Bowl with their symbolic messages going on and their secret signs. They have these superstars come on during halftime and they're flashing the Illuminati sign over and over again and their symbolic messages. Maybe could this be the false flag, that everybody's been talking about, where they might do a UFO mass sighting, but it could be a massive hologram at the same time?
It's ironic you mentioned hologram because hologram technology has been something of current debate that's actually been, some people prove that it exists. As a matter of fact, Jesse Ventura did an entire episode of that thinking that there's possibly the 9/11 was possibly holographic planes but the explosions were real. At the same time, using a hologram to showcase that a fake UFO would coming, that would be exactly what the Illuminati would do to scare people into submission. Remember, fear is power, and that's what they continue to use.
During every single halftime show, or sometimes in the beginning, there's a major military, military's around just because of security reasons. The Super Bowl would be a place that any bad guy would want to hit, and that's why the military and security is so huge. But then they also do these flyovers and these air shows. And there's a lot of times when people are filming these things, there's these anomalous anomalies in the sky as they're filming the jets. Then there's UFOs in the background I got a feeling there are going to be some major sightings over the Super Bowl. It's going to be cold over there and dangerous at the same time, but I also think that there's going to be a mass sighting, and then Third Phase of the Moon is going to cover it. And if anybody's at the Super Bowl and they have their cameras ready, if you're there live at the Super Bowl, we're going to be standing by here at the Third Phase of the Moon base, and we will report it as it comes in. Dr. J, this Super Bowl event and the chatter that's been coming in, this is something like one of these times that when the chatter does come in, we've announced on Third Phase of the Moon, like, hey, be on the ready. At this certain date, there's going to be a massive sighting. We posted it up on Third Phase of the Moon, and then a few days later when we predicted the event that if around the world people actually captured UFOs, we're calling it right now there's going to be a massive sighting over there over the Super Bowl.
Yes, I can recall two specific instances. One of them, I was sent to Contact in the Desert to cover for Third Phase of the Moon, and you had relayed a message that came from, I don't remember his name, Makaveli, I believe, the local summoner in your island, and he told you that night.
Vivi Ole, Kahuna, and he says he speaks with the Star family, and he said that there was going to be a massive triangle formation from the time, I think, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. over the Joshua Tree, over at Contact in the Desert. Explain to the listeners right now what they experienced, and what was Mr. Kamaka Vivioli on the button on that?
He was 100% on the button. 8 p.m. that night, Dr. Greer hosted his CE5 with 500 people in the audience. About 8:30, 8:40 p.m., a bunch of oohs and ahs. Now, I had the camera rolling, but mind you, it was very dark. There were no lights other than the lasers and the stars in the sky. And there it was, clear as day. You couldn't, it wasn't day, so that was part of the problem, but you can clearly see that there was a triangle-shaped craft. It was blocking out the stars above it, and it had lights on the perimeter. And this appeared exactly as he said it would. And there was another incident, I remember several months before, where you had said that weekend you were told there would be some massive stuff happening. And sure enough, I remember a couple days later speaking to you, you said the flood of videos that came in over that weekend on that specific day was just 10 times more than normal. And then I wouldn't be surprised, you calling it this Sunday, and like you said, you ask all the listeners and the viewers, not just being live at the Super Bowl, but if you live near MetLife Arena, anywhere in New Jersey, keep your eyes in the sky, contact Blake Cousins right away if you see something that we can broadcast to the world.
Well, it's interesting, the tragedy over there in New Jersey, when it came down to the Hindenburg, some people claim that was a UFO event that triggered the disaster over there. And what's up with major events? When President Obama did his address to the nation when he became president of the United States, there were massive UFO sightings captured during his address to the people. And then during the Olympics we had the Summer Olympics, there was a massive flying saucer over there captured. Now, the Super Bowl event, I'm thinking these events, that's when the activity really kicks off, Dr. J.
I think you're dead on, and I have a theory. Every single humongous event, going from the Gettysburg Address, the Revolutionary War, even to Columbus crossing the Atlantic Ocean just hours before he arrived to the New World, which is now America. He had a UFO sighting that trailed the ship for hours. Now, some people suggest that these grays are technically humans that have lived underground for 50,000 years and then moved off-planet to another planet, and that's what they really are. So it's speculated that these are all time travelers coming back in time to observe major events such as Obama's inauguration, 9/11, life-changing events, World War II. Johnny Webb, when he came on to Third Phase of the Moon and did the Skype interview with you a couple of years back, he produced a photo that he took which was very similar to a photo that was taken during World War II. So I would not be surprised at a major event like this, we will see something.
I think the video live broadcast of the Super Bowl we might even get a rare chance to see a UFO just by watching the Super Bowl live. But I think the people on the ground are the best people to go to. And whether you're in the stadium or surrounding the area in New Jersey, everybody have their cameras ready because, like you said, and like the chatter says, these world events with, I would imagine 1 billion people are going to be watching the Super Bowl approximately.
At least they estimate.
Yeah, that would be the best time to show themselves and change the world. They can't do anything about it. The live feed's going. There's no way to cover it up.
You know what scares me? They have a 20-second delay, so I would not be surprised if something happens that they do kind of edit it out or use a different shot at the time. Ever since that, now this could be a conspiracy in and of itself just to implement this rule, but when Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake had that little wardrobe malfunction, they implemented for the Super Bowl, and I believe every live game from that point on, a 20-second delay. So that's why, like you said, it is very, very important for the people on the ground, in the stadium, living around the arena to be very aware with what's happening in the sky. A lot of people are going to be watching TV, but make sure you are also watching the sky.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Janet Jackson debacle, that was with Justin Timberlake. When Justin Timberlake grabbed her and assaulted Janet Jackson and ripped off her boobie for the world to see, why did Janet Jackson get the flack when it was Justin Timberlake that ripped off? It wasn't no accident or a wardrobe malfunction. This was exactly the plan by the Illuminati. So when the Super Bowl's up, we tell everybody right now, be prepared to watch and look for the Illuminati symbols. They're there in plain sight. They're not trying to hide. The big power is the whole idea about the Illuminati is in plain sight with the all-seeing eye. They're not afraid to brag to their buddies and friends, hey, look what we did during the Super Bowl, to show that, hey, wink, wink, we got the power. But this time around, it's going to be above the Illuminati's head, in my opinion.
They are everywhere. The Illuminati is everywhere. Even this past week at the Grammys, people were saying Katy Perry's performance was an Illuminati satanic summoning, which a lot of people claim the Bilderbergers, that's what they do. There was also another case when Whitney Houston passed away. At her funeral, there was a sarcophagus. Like you said, they like to hide. They don't hide. They're in plain sight. You just got to watch for those symbols, look for the occult symbols, and you will see that they are everywhere.
Oh, you got these major superstars, Madonna and Beyonce, they performed at the Super Bowl. Illuminati written all over it. Michael Jackson performed for the Super Bowl as well, and he took up 2 minutes of time when he popped up out of the stage 3 feet in the air and landed and stood there like a statue for 2 minutes getting all that airtime. What was it all about? We're not exactly sure. These people work in mysterious ways. Was Michael Jackson part of the Illuminati? What's your opinion? I'm on the fence on that. I think he was I think he was against the establishment.
One of our people that feeds us information, he has his own show. I don't want to name his name right now, but he's an expert. He works very closely with Jordan Maxwell, and he's an expert in occultism, Illuminati. Actually, Jordan Maxwell is a high-ranking Mason. I don't know if he's 33rd degree or not, but they basically said that, yes, they are everywhere, and they will continue to see them everywhere. And there is not a single major event where it's not being controlled by them. And they also say that each person, Rihanna, for instance, Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, every single one of those who has made it to that little elite round table in the Hollywood with movies and with music, they basically say they sold their souls to the Illuminati, and they have to pull their train. If they don't do what they say, they will take them out. And that's why a lot of these deaths, like, for instance, Brittany Murphy, it's just recently been shown that her and her husband were actually poisoned, that she didn't die accidentally. So I think it's very possible that every single one of them is part of it. And when they try to go against them, like Michael Jackson, maybe that wasn't an intentional thing. Maybe Conrad Murray purposely killed him on orders above him.
Well, you think about the money involved. This is when the high power comes in to play, because it's a certain event of the year. They want to brag and show off. Look at just a year, maybe about 10 years ago, we used to talk about these Super Bowl commercials going for $250,000 per 30 seconds. Now it's up to $4 million for 30 seconds of airtime. You know, the big players are going to come out. Beyonce's up there showing off her symbolic Illuminati signs. The Illuminati's in power. Let me tell you, if you're on the ground over it, again, I just want to tell everybody, keep your eyes open for the symbols, because the symbols are the true tellers. We're not just saying this is a joke. You watch for yourself. After you listen to this radio show and you watch the Super Bowl, I guarantee you're going to have a different perspective on it. And that's what Third Phase of Moon's all about, is putting people with a new perspective on what is the unknown, but it's right there in plain sight.
You're absolutely right. And during the commercials, as a matter of fact, if you go back every single year, there are alien commercials. For instance, last year, I think it was a car commercial with Ben Stiller and another actor, and at the very end of the commercial, he loses he doesn't get the car, and he's sitting at a dinner with an alien sitting there, and then there was another one where it's kind of, I don't remember if it was like what commercial it was or for what, but it basically showed a bunch of flying saucers and it looked like the end of the world scenario. I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see another alien embedded commercial or UFO embedded commercial on top of the Illuminati symbolism and the occultism during the halftime show and throughout the Super Bowl.
We're getting basic questions here right now, and one of the questions is, for the layman out there that hasn't even heard of the Illuminati, it's a pretty fancy word. It kind of rolls off the tongue, kind of cool. Can you tell our listeners and viewers right now what is the Illuminati and how did it get started? Quickly, go ahead.
The Illuminati comes from the illuminated ones. The illuminated ones are those who are enlightened. Now, apparently, if you believe in this New Age technology or what's going on, they claim that the enlightenment occurs with the pineal gland, which is also known as your spiritual antenna. When you unlock that, you can have everything from telepathy, telekinesis to, remote viewing. And those illuminated ones want to keep that secret from everybody else. TV is filled with subliminal messages to keep us as sheep, just as this other notion of cognitive dissidence, where people are not really paying attention to what's happening. And that's exactly what the Illuminati wants. They want their little group of people to stay, and they want to keep that secret of becoming illuminated. And that's where the word originated from. But it goes back. It goes back to the Knights of Templar. It goes back to the Freemasons and way beyond that, to maybe to even the royal bloodlines. It's a very well-kept secret of how to access that part of the brain and open up that third eye. And that's why you always see that eye seeing the triangle with the all-seeing eye, because that stands for the third eye.
What do you think? What do you think the Illuminati wants, Dr. J? In my opinion, I think they want to basically what everybody else wants, eternal life. But they're going to figure it out on their own, and they're not going to share it with everybody. And in my opinion, the agenda of the Illuminati is basically to wipe out 80 to 90% of the human population so they could enjoy the rest of the world, the 10% all to themselves, the elite, and control everything. And I think one way of doing it, and one of their ways, and this isn't fun and games, this sucks, and a bunch of BS going on. But one of my opinions is how they're going to do it is through these GMOs and food and these sterilization processes where basically it's a genocide in a nonviolent way. Basically, they're just sterilizing the population. So after a few generations, they're not going to be anybody, no reproductive children out there. It's basically a genocide in a nonviolent way, no reproduction. Only the Illuminati will have the right to reproduce and bear children.
You're absolutely right. Even the Georgia Guidestones say that the sustainable population on Earth is 500 million. There are a lot of evidence. Alex Jones has been speaking about the FEMA death camps. There's a lot of these videos going around that show these giant coffins that they claim are being held for emergency use. Well, what emergency are they planning that's going to involve millions of deaths? There's talks of these underground trains that have shackles to them. There's these internment camps. There's even one right here in Los Angeles at Terminal Island that you can't even get near, and yet it has playgrounds in it. So they're intended to house entire families, but they're prisons. And on top of that, like you said, the Illuminati, those elite, the Bilderbergers who meet every year to control every aspect of the globe, from politics to education to the food control to, price fixing, you name it. When they meet every single year, one thing that they have is access to alien technology. According to Dr. Dan Burrish, after we retrieved Project Looking Glass software or hardware from the Roswell crash, which was actually called the Yellow Book device, what it does is it allows people to look into the probable future based on their emotions and their thoughts at the time. Well, each of these powerful families, such as the Bushes, the Queen of England, and every member of the Bilderbergers has one of these devices. And so, like you said, they are out there to live forever, and they're never going to share their technology. They have all these technologies that we've been talking about and wanting, such as fossil fuel-free energy. And so everything you said is 100% in line of what's happening.
Wow, Dr. J, this has been an incredible radio show. The new chatter coming in, the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday. People around the world are going to be watching. People on the ground in New Jersey are going to be watching. We're not saying watch the game. Watch the skies. It's going to happen. It's going to be big. And the Illuminati has nothing to say about it. Dr. J, thanks for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
Anytime, Blake.
And if anybody captures anything amazing during the Super Bowl or anywhere around the world, you could submit your incredible UFO video to Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies. Watch for the Illuminati. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see you again next time.